One of the experiments we did on purchases was to sell people coffee. We had the regular condiments, milk and sugar and cream and so on. But we also had these 6 condiments that nobody ever uses. Lemon peel and cardamom and, you know, stuff like that. And sometimes we put these condiments in a beautiful metal and glass containers with a little spoon and so on. And sometimes they were in styrofoam cups, kind of torn. We wrote it in a felty pen, really ugly. And now the question is, do these things that were on the side that nobody ever used influence the perception of how good the coffee was? The answer was absolutely yes. And they also influence how much people are willing to pay. They're willing to pay about twice as much. What's the right way to figure out the value of wine? If you do blind tasting of wine, you taste the wine, you have no idea about it, it turns out the correlation between price and quality is basically 0. More expensive wine is not perceived as better quality than cheaper wine. When you know the price, now it does have a positive correlation because your expectation that this wine is going to get better actually changes the way you experience it and therefore change the value. So it's actually very difficult to think about what is the value of something.
Businesses have to run well, for-profit and non-profit alike, in order to be able to accomplish their really high purposes. We think a lot about the efficacy of social enterprises, and we have a little 3-cell model. First, you have to do important work. And that's just fundamental. The point of your work has to improve the quality of life in communities in some way. You have to do important work. The second thing is you have to do the important work well. That means you have to be financially sustainable, but it also means that you have to create a workplace that's good for all. A brutal workplace that forces people to be unsustainably self-sacrificial isn't anything to be proud of. You have to be able to treat your employees well as your customers and all other stakeholders. So you have to do that important work well. And then third, you have to move your work to scale. And you have to find a way to be selfless, collaborate with the other folks who can come together to help you scale that work. And often, for-profit and non-profit alike, we're not great at that kind of ego-free collaboration. So do important work, do the important work well, move it to scale.
Trust, I want in principle, but right now if you gave me a lot of money, maybe it's worthwhile to sacrifice it. Pollution, I want the world to be clean, but right now if you gave me something, maybe I would sacrifice it. So I think that's why we have these sacred values and things we're not willing to trade off, because as human beings, every time we start trading off these values, we might think short term and sacrifice them too much.
So, that was the end of the video. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So, what did you think of the video?
It was nice, really informative.
Yeah.
Were there any interesting parts that you maybe want to talk about for really quick?
Yeah, the champagne, no, the wine, was it? The pricing of the wine and that, yeah, that part.
Well, what do you want to know about the wine part? Like how, like you want us to elaborate on it?
And maybe
like,
you can.
The fact that people expect the wine to be a better wine if it's more expensive than one another, than a less expensive wine.
Yeah.
Is that something psychological or?
Yeah, it's correlating to psychological aspect of the consumer brain on how we act on, for example, labels, such as with clothing, there's Gucci and people will pay more money for it when it says a big brand. Or for example, for the wine, if it's an expensive wine, they expect it to be better than a cheap wine.
Okay, but is there also actually a difference in taste?
To be honest, in wine, 2 wines can be the same, but when you're expecting something to taste better, your brain will sort of make it feel better.
But
it's a perception.
Yes, that's true. We were not talking about the taste, but about the quality of the wine.
Okay.
Yeah, you expect the quality to be better with a higher price.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start off with the discussion, and let's take a random person to ask this question to. Tristan, what is your first impression of real value and circular economy? Our two topics.
The real value was with the wine, right? And the circular value was.
Yeah.
Can you explain the circular value again? Because I didn't understand it from the video.
It's the I think the second guy who explained the way of doing real work as a business in a community, into providing something for a community.
I think the first one, the real value is pretty weird, that pricing is higher but the quality isn't better. And the circular value, I think all companies should do this and have value for other things outside their company.
Right. Yeah, that sounds great. There's more to this than just what we've shown and explained. For example, creating real value is a different approach to a circular economy. For example, given a company, as said in the video, participates in so-called real work. Real work is a form of creating real value for a local community, as in saying, when investing into a local community such as a small village, which has already an established circular economy, providing for each other, supplying products, and investing into each other, a business cannot be, in some cases, be welcomed by the local community, as they're already trying to supply each other in every way possible. But if a business can add real value to the local community by boosting with budgets, for example, that's one form of real value being created, as it will improve in the short term quality of work, product, services, and in the long term will improve quality of life and economy growth, as the budgets will increase the operations of every business in the local communities. Are there any questions for this topic?
I think after showing us an example, I understand the circular economy more, and I think it should be used more in local areas to prevent global warming and stuff.
Really efficient way of helping each other.
What the circular economy has to do with mostly in the community is, while certain companies are producing, they at the same time trying to give back to their local communities to make sure that also the environment, the people, and the company itself can benefit from all the production, so that the value keeps coming back in the circle, kind of like that.
Tiana, you had a question?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, in the video they talk about values and expectations, and actually the expectations creating value, right? That's kind of what I got from the wine story.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wondering, how exactly does that apply to the circular economy, right?
So, what I tried to explain just now is, for example, the sustainability goal of this local community, that is creating real value for the local community, the circular economy, as it will create, let's say, quality of life. For example, as using biofuels will not pollute the area, and it will create. I'm getting. But it just will be healthier for everybody, for example, and creating products with sustainable processes will end up in those real values, as in creating better products and better way of life is improving a circular economy.
And is this like a sustainable goal for in the future, or is it already going on, like the
Some communities are
economics?
adapting it, but it is not worldwide yet.
Okay, so it is a kind of a goal for in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, clear to me.
Then I would guess I give the turn to Sam.
Yes. Okay. So basically, Nick was also talking about reinvesting in the local community. So basically, what it means is everyone wins when you invest back into the community. Successful businesses know financial growth isn't the only measurement of a company's prosperity. And investing in people, products, and services also plays a significant role in performance and morale. So I'm going to ask some of you a question. I will choose. Okay, Larissa. Why should you invest in a local community?
So that we can produce more sustainable in the future, and that's better for the environment.
Yeah, okay. So basically, what it means is small businesses, which by definition are locally owned, create 2 out of 3 jobs, for example, in the United States, and employ half of the private workforce and generate half of the private GDP, like the gross domestic product. They create local wealth by keeping money circulating locally. That's called the local multiplier effect. They provide a foundation for a healthy and diversified local tax base and contribute to the health and well-being of their communities. Also, study links the presence of small businesses to everything from better psycho health to greater community engagement. And finally, these local enterprises give the places we call home their special character and identity. Like, imagine living without your favorite cafe or a coffee shop or bookstore. And basically, it comes down to the ownership matters, and locally owned businesses are stakeholders in the community, and they live there, have roots there, so they take more into consideration than simply the bottom line. So, do you understand?
Okay. A lot of information, but
So,
I think it's clear to me.
Okay, so basically now you know why you should invest in local, but how do you think it needs to be done?
If there's
Is it a
something you
question
don't understand,
also-
you can just ask it.
Involve local people more in your company, and that way you can do more in the local area.
Yeah, that's one of the ways, but it's simply a big answer. So basically, there are a lot of ways to invest locally, and I found about 24 ways, and there are way more, of course. I'm not going to tell you every single 24. I choose 3 of them because we don't have time for it, otherwise I will do it. And one of them is donate locally, and basically it means your charitable giving can do double duty by targeting it to local non-profits and that support local businesses. Also, we can create a local stock market that, as crowdfunding right now spreads, there will be a growing number of local stock purchasers who wish to sell their shares. You can facilitate this by creating a local or regional stock exchange. And for example, Mission Markets, a company that created a turnkey web platform, and that can enable your community to get started with this immediately. So basically, the platform is there for local stock markets.
Cool, thanks. Really interesting.
Okay, then I give the word to
Shiva.
Yes, Shiva.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Okay. The next question I give to Gunnar. What would the psychological impact of a circular economy be in a local community? What do you think?
You mean the circular economy, the impact on the?
Yeah, on the local community.
I think it helps them to. It gives every company a boost that's involved in the circular economy. So the local community is helped by it. I think.
Yeah.
It helps the local community.
So what you're saying, it's good for the future of the local community. Okay. Yeah, actually, when the concept of circular economy is introduced locally, then the quality of the goods will be good for sure. The people think that because in a local community, people know each other. So there's a sacred value of trust. Trust in companies and also the other way around, like trust in the consumers. on behalf of the company, because the companies will have a connection with with their consumers. Gunnar, do you have any questions about it?
I don't have any questions. It's clear.
Everything is clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
we finish with Fernando, I think.
Then I give the word to Fernando. Yeah.
Okay. You guys are discussing the triple bottom line and if there's a possible relationship between the triple bottom line and circular economy. Do you guys remember what the triple bottom line is? I get a yes from Sahan, Arissa, Kuna, Tristan. You guys remember what it is, or?
Not really, no. Maybe you can give a short explanation.
Yeah. No problem. So basically, in short, triple bottom line is an accounting framework that measures the financial, social, and environmental performance of a company over time. It is a framework that believes a company should commit to focusing as much on social and environmental impact as they do on profits. It also seeks to gauge a corporation's level of commitment to its impact on the environment over time. Now, do you get what it is? You understand what it is?
Yes.
Now, I have another question. Do you guys think, based from what Nick explained, what a circular economy is, do you guys think that there's a possible relationship between a triple bottom line and a circular economy?
Yeah, definitely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because it's really like about the community, and which is like one of the pieces like of people, and it's sustainable, so it's planet. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The rest of the group, do you guys think that there's a possible link? I'm gonna ask this question again at the end after I've explained. I just want your initial thoughts on if you do, and if you don't, maybe I can change your mind. No? Yes? Let me just explain a bit more into detail. So why I think that there is personally, because like Nick explained, it's clear about a circular economy that environmental responsibility benefits the economy. The circular economy basically entails that the full cost of business should not only consider profits but make provision for the triple bottom line to exist and operate, which is what circular economy entails. It's a sustainable economy. The circular economy recognizes the importance of a sustainable environment and the need to work effectively and efficiently at all scales to minimize the negative effects of corporations on the environment. I'll ask my question again. Do you guys think that there is a relationship between the triple bottom line and sustainable and a circular economy?
Yes, I still think there is.
Hope to have convinced you enough.
Yeah.
Then I guess that's it. That's all from my side. Sorry for the interruption, guys.
I had just
It's
one
totally
more question to Shiva about the global, the causes, the good causes or something. Why do you think not all companies participate in supporting good causes?
Because companies have to change their way of work, so that's also financially it's good for the future, of course, but in the short term it's very expensive, so many companies won't do it right now. Maybe if more companies will do it, then they will be motivated because of them, and they will also take the step, but
but they also earn money with supporting global causes, right?
Yes, they earn money, yes, but you have also companies that do stuff like that to earn only money, and they do not actually do something about the causes. But you have also companies that really want to do something, but they cannot do it because of the financial reasons, So yeah, I think in a couple of years, like in the Netherlands, they want to go to a circular economy by 2050. I think slowly it will get better, more companies are going to do it, and maybe later in the future when companies don't do it, then maybe they will get like more taxes to pay or something, so it will get better.
I think that would be a good solution to
I think the Netherlands is a good place to
start.
To do this, I mean, to start, because it's Netherlands is very innovative, so I think this is the best place to start.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Any other questions from you guys? regarding any topics? No? Then thank you for listening.